Metal breathes here, not quietly, but loud, sharp, alive. Some cars sit still and still feel fast. Some don't just roll, they stare back at you. This is not a garage filled with machines. This is a room full of decisions, risks, and obsession. Before the fame, before the cameras, there was one belief that never changed. Every car deserves a second life, not a copy, not a shortcut, but a soul of its own. Paint here isn't just color. Lines aren't just curves. Every inch carries intention. Every build carries a reason. You'll see shapes that feel familiar, yet wrong in the best way. Classic forms that refuse to stay in the past. Power that doesn't shout, but waits. Some of these cars were born legends. Others were forgotten. All of them were chosen, and behind every one of them is a mind that doesn't settle, doesn't rush, and doesn't follow rules unless they can be rewritten. This collection isn't about how fast, it's about why. Stay with us, because what you're about to see isn't just Dave Kindig's car collection, it's the truth behind how passion turns metal into legacy. Where the vision begins, value doesn't start with money. It starts with taste. Long before anyone measured horsepower, calculated resale value, or placed a dollar figure on craftsmanship, decisions were being made that would define a legacy. In Dave Kindig's mind, the essence of a car was never about cost or status. It was about balance, form, and integrity. Every vehicle in his collection carries the mark of this early vision, a philosophy nurtured long before fame or recognition entered the picture. True value begins not in flashy chrome, not in massive engines, nor in eye-catching paint. It begins in choices the kind of careful, deliberate choices that shape character, create harmony, and establish something timeless. Each car is a statement that excellence is not born from excess, but from thought, patience, and a respect for proportions that transcend trends. Dave's approach is quietly revolutionary. While the industry often chases the latest craze, the loudest modification, or the biggest statement, he refuses to follow blindly. He does not succumb to fads. Instead, he honors harmony. He respects the old shapes, appreciating the stories embedded in each curve, the history held in every line. Classics are not erased or forced into conformity. They are enhanced with precision, not overshadowed. New ideas are introduced sparingly, woven into the existing design with care. Every addition must complement, never compete. This philosophy changes the way custom cars are seen. Instead of relying on shock value, his creations command attention through subtlety, confidence, and purpose. Over time, this restraint proves economically wise. Cars built with discipline do more than look beautiful. They retain value, age gracefully, and maintain relevance in a world obsessed with novelty. Intent separates this collection from countless others. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing is impulsive. Even the most daring design choices are calculated, measured against principles of proportion, aesthetics, and function. Patience is expensive. Every hour in the workshop, every sketch reworked, every adjustment considered carries a cost. Time itself is an investment, and like any investment, it yields returns. The difference between a hurried build and a deliberate one is tangible. Collectors notice it immediately. Buyers sense it in the ride, the feel, and the craftsmanship. The industry recognizes it in the details, the seamless welds, the precise lines, the subtle curves. That intangible quality, the unmistakable sense that a car was made with vision, adds to long-term value in ways that money cannot measure. Behind each completed car lies a hidden story of labor and decision-making. Hours no one sees, sketches redrawn countless times, concepts tested and discarded, individual components reconsidered repeatedly. Every choice is intentional. Every adjustment matters. That invisible process cultivates trust, a rare, precious trust. Collectors know the difference between spectacle and substance. Buyers understand that quality lasts. The industry respects that attention to detail. Trust transforms a collection into a legend, where each machine becomes more than a vehicle. It becomes a symbol of care, mastery, and creative vision. This is where the collection begins, not with engines, paint, or chrome, not with horsepower or speed. It begins with restraint, judgment, and deliberate thought. Every car reflects a refusal to take shortcuts. Each is a product of careful planning, of patience, and of understanding what endures beyond fleeting trends. Taste, intent, and foresight form the foundation upon which the collection stands. These principles elevate the cars from mere transportation to cultural icons, leaving a mark on the history of custom automotive design. In essence, Dave Kindig's collection is a story of vision, story of choices made long before the first bolt is tightened. A story that proves that the essence of value is not measured in money or medals, but in thought, care, and the courage to respect what came before while shaping something new. This is where the legend begins, where restraint meets innovation, and where timeless design becomes reality. When classics refuse to stay in the past. Old cars carry memory, and that memory must be handled with care. Every scratch, dent, and curve tells a story of time, design, and purpose. In Dave Kindig's garage, these classics are more than machines. They are living history. They do not compete with their past, nor do they attempt to erase it. Instead, they cooperate with it. Each restoration begins with respect for what came before. The goal is not to rewrite history, but to refine it, to push the boundaries of comfort, control, and safety while preserving the soul of the original creation. Every adjustment is intentional, measured, and subtle. Even when modern engineering improves the driving experience, the essence of the car, the spirit that made it iconic, remains untouched. This delicate balance between preservation and enhancement creates long-term value. Cars that feel familiar, yet handle with modern precision, occupy a unique space in the collector's world. They appeal first to emotion, evoking memories and admiration, and then to logic, offering reliability and performance. That combination of emotional resonance paired with mechanical excellence is rare. It is a rarity that drives desire, increasing both appreciation and market demand. Collectors understand that these are not just vehicles, they are investments in craftsmanship and culture, proof that restraint and thoughtfulness often outweigh spectacle. Each restored classic in Dave Kindig's collection tells a quiet story. It speaks of respect rather than dominance, of refinement rather than flamboyance. These cars do not need to shout to be noticed. Their lines flow naturally, their stance feels grounded, and every detail serves a purpose. Nothing distracts from the overall experience. The beauty of each build is understated yet undeniable. It captures attention not through loud modifications, but through harmony, proportion, and care. Even small touches, slightly adjusted curves, hand-finished panels, and subtle enhancements to suspension add up to a sense of completeness that commands admiration quietly but firmly. Collectors and enthusiasts immediately notice this restraint. They recognize that tasteful builds survive trends and stand the test of time. Loud, flashy modifications might draw attention briefly, but thoughtful, deliberate work endures. That enduring appeal is the mark of a master craftsman. Each car is timeless because it is rooted in history, yet enhanced for today. Many of the vehicles in this collection do not feel tied to a specific year or decade. They exist outside of time. Their design, their presence, and their performance transcend the limitations of age. They do not seek attention. Attention finds them naturally, drawn by balance, elegance, and confidence. In the end, Dave Kindig's classics are proof that true mastery lies in understanding the past and enhancing it with purpose. They are living evidence that respect, patience, and vision produce cars that are more than machines. They are stories, experiences, and legacies on wheels. Each car demonstrates that when history is honored and modern improvements are applied with discretion, the result is enduring beauty and unmatched value, both emotionally and economically. Modern machines with a purpose. Not everything in Dave Kindig's collection needed change. Some cars arrived as complete statements of design, balance, and performance. These vehicles were not broken. They were not missing potential, nor were they flawed in a way that demanded correction. Each was already engineered with precision, crafted to perform, built to endure. For these cars, the choice to leave them largely untouched was intentional, deliberate, and profoundly meaningful. It was a decision rooted not in laziness or avoidance, but in respect for the vision of the engineers who had already created excellence, respect for the idea that perfection sometimes exists without intervention. Changing what is already working can be unnecessary. Worse, it can be harmful. A car's essence, its balance, its flow, can be lost if altered without purpose. Recognizing that requires patience, discernment, and experience. This mindset protects value in ways both emotional and economic. Cars that retain their stock form often age gracefully. Their proportions, lines, and performance were already carefully measured and tested. They carry a quiet confidence that does not demand attention through modification. By resisting the urge to over-customize, Dave emphasizes a crucial truth. True craftsmanship is not measured only by the hands-on changes you make, but by the wisdom to know when not to act. Customization is not always the answer. Sometimes the skill lies in selecting the ability to identify quality, to understand it, and to preserve it. That insight reflects deep understanding, patience, and reverence for automotive artistry. These machines are proof that enhancement does not always mean improvement. Sometimes, the greatest refinement is allowing what already works to shine without interference. These modern machines serve a distinct purpose within the garage. They provide balance, contrast, and context to the fully customized classics that dominate the collection. While the daring restorations catch the eye with bold curves, unique lines, and daring modifications, these unaltered vehicles offer quiet confidence. They are subtle anchors in a world of spectacle. They remind viewers and collectors alike that taste is not about dominance, not about imposing control, but about recognizing excellence when it exists. These cars quietly demonstrate the philosophy that restraint is as powerful as creativity, that knowing when to step back is as important as knowing when to push forward. They speak of understanding, of wisdom, of the ability to appreciate integrity. Their presence adds dimension to the collection, proving that not every car needs to demand attention to be valued. Some command respect simply by existing, whole and complete. Economically, the implications of this restraint are significant. Over-modifying a modern vehicle can erode long-term value. Parts can become obsolete, performance can be compromised, and authenticity may diminish. By leaving these cars largely intact, their integrity and collectability remain secure. Enthusiasts recognize this subtle mastery. They know that value is not only about horsepower or aesthetics, It is about judgment, taste, and timing. Cars preserved in their original form maintain both cultural and financial worth. Because their care respects the original vision, that judgment is rare, a combination of practical wisdom, aesthetic appreciation, and measured restraint. Beyond value, these vehicles contribute depth to the narrative of the collection. They are not passive placeholders. Each car tells a story of taste, of knowing when to act, of recognizing the beauty in what already exists. They reinforce Dave Kindig's broader philosophy, that mastery is not only in innovation, but also in preservation, that greatness arises from both risk and patience, that elegance can reside in restraint just as profoundly as in spectacle. In a garage filled with bold statements and daring reinventions, these modern machines serve as the quiet center. They provide harmony, demonstrating that confidence does not always roar, it can also be silent, assured, and enduring. In the end, the modern machines in Dave Kindig's collection are as deliberate as his customized classics. They reflect understanding, judgment, and respect. Their presence tells a story of balance, of discernment, of the mastery that lies in knowing when to intervene and when to observe. They prove that not every car needs reinvention to shine. Some exist as perfect examples of engineering and design, holding their own in a collection defined by vision, creativity, and careful intention. These vehicles are reminders that excellence does not always require alteration. Sometimes, it simply needs acknowledgement, legacy, labor, and long-term worth. Some builds aren't about style. They are about meaning. In Dave Kindig's garage, not every car exists to catch the eye or dazzle with spectacle. Some cars are milestones. They are carriers of stories of family, memory, triumph, and personal achievement. These vehicles are not just machines. They are repositories of experience, emotion, and dedication, far beyond what any price tag, horsepower rating, or chrome finish could ever capture. They hold significance that cannot be measured in numbers or market value. And yet, even when emotion is the driving force, craftsmanship remains absolute. Every detail, every line, every curve is treated with care, precision, and respect. Nothing is left to chance. Every decision, every adjustment is deliberate, reflecting a philosophy that values quality as much as meaning. Time investment defines these builds. Every car that holds a story carries thousands of invisible hours. Hours spent measuring, adjusting, perfecting, and refining every element that most people would never notice. Each panel, each stitch, each bolt receives attention and intention. This unseen labor becomes part of the car's essence. It is invisible to the casual observer, yet it defines the vehicle's soul, its integrity, and its long-term worth. In the collector world, stories matter as much as specifications. Provenance, knowing why a car exists, who handled it, and how it was crafted, adds immeasurable weight to its value. A car's history, its emotional resonance, and its connection to life beyond the garage all contribute to worth that surpasses dollars or medals. Dave's builds, rooted in personal and historical significance, are living proof that meaning increases value. These machines are more than tools of speed or showpieces. They are symbols of commitment, patience, and care, carefully preserved to speak for themselves over time. That commitment creates longevity. Cars built with intention, care, and purpose last longer. They drive with reliability, handle with confidence, and endure the test of time. Every element of the build is thoughtfully considered to maintain balance between beauty and performance, ensuring that form complements function. This kind of stability is what makes a collection remarkable, what sets it apart from others. When work is done with focus and respect, it transcends mere aesthetics. It does not merely look good, it performs well for decades. Value in this context is not just financial, it is enduring, emotional, and cultural. AEE. Carefully built car remains desirable because its foundation is solid, its story is meaningful, and its soul is intact. Collectors quickly learn that quality and care outlast flashy trends. Bold modifications may fade in style, but thoughtful, precise work remains timeless. This is where art meets economics. Passion becomes investment. Precision becomes legacy. When dedication is consistent, value follows naturally, without exaggeration or gimmicks. Dave Kindig's collection demonstrates this truth repeatedly. Each car, whether a classic, a modern piece, a bold restoration, or a subtle preservation, carries the mark of thoughtfulness and devotion. Every project that celebrates memory, family, or personal milestones reinforces the principle that meaning and worth are inseparable. It is not only what you build, but how you build it, why you build it, and with what level of care and devotion. These factors determine whether a car will endure, inspire, and hold value for generations. Here, labor is love. Commitment becomes proof. Each carefully restored or preserved car stands as a testament to the principle that true value is created patiently, thoughtfully, and with purpose. In Dave Kindig's world, the story behind the machine is as important as the machine itself, and every vehicle is a living example of how effort, intention, and legacy converge to create something timeless. This collection is more than cars. It is devotion rendered visible, patience turned into metal, and history kept alive with reverence and craft. A collection like this isn't built overnight. It grows the same way trust does, slowly. Every car here reflects patience, restraint, and respect. Not just for metal, but for the process itself. This garage isn't about showing off success. It's about proving that careful work outlives noise. Dave Kindig's car collection tells a clear story. When vision stays steady, results stay strong. When shortcuts are ignored, quality rises. And when passion leads, value follows. These cars weren't shaped to chase attention. They were shaped to last. That's why they matter. That's why they remain relevant. And that's why this collection stands apart. If you enjoyed this deep look into craftsmanship, legacy, and purpose, make sure to like this video. Which car from this collection impressed you the most, and why? Your support helps us bring more stories like this to life. Stay connected. More remarkable collections are coming next.